Hey kids, thanks for watching. What do you say we cook something? Guinness Stout. I always thought the highest and best use for this was just, right here in my mouth. But there's a donut shop in town that occasionally makes donuts with Guinness, and they're absolutely incredible. I don't really feel like doing donuts, but I thought, hey, maybe it'll work in bread. Did a little looking around on the internet, and I'm not the first guy to think this. There's a whole bunch of recipes. We're going to try kind of a mix of 2 or 3 recipes that I liked. Now, one thing that's very different about this is that unlike most breads, there's no yeast in it. Yeast, the way yeast works is that it eats the sugar, and as byproducts it gives off carbon dioxide, which causes bread to rise. It also gives off some alcohol, and that alcohol eventually kills the yeast. Since alcohol will kill the yeast, I don't really know if it's going to rise with this in it or not. So since we can't use yeast, we have to use self-rising flour. I couldn't actually find any self-rising flour anywhere, so we have to make that first, but that's not horribly hard. Let's go ahead and get started with the project. In the bowl, I've got 3 cups of just regular old general purpose flour. To make it self-rising, we're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. And we want to get those well combined here. Now the beer can be a bit bitter, so we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And to give it a little texture, we're going to toss in about 1/2 cup of fast cooking oats. And the star of the show, oh, that smells so good. And I'm also going to pop in just a little bit of butter. That's about 1/2 stick. Well, I'm following a recipe off the internet, and I don't think that's enough beer. You don't really want bread dough wet, but I think this is a little too dry. Yeah, that's looking more like it. This is probably going to turn out more like a cake than a bread. I'm curious to see what we end up with. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Now when I do breads or cakes, anything like that, biscuits, I use parchment paper in the bottom of the pan. Makes it easier to get the finished loaf out. Y'all are too young to remember a movie called The Blob, but this sort of reminds me of that. And we need one more thing. Gonna sprinkle some oats over the top. I've got the oven warmed up to 350. I've also got another pan in there with water in it that'll help humidify the oven so this stays nice and moist. And now back to the tough part. We gotta wait about 40 minutes. See what we get. Well, let's pop it out of the pan and see what it looks like. I really should let it rest for about 15 minutes, but I can't stand it. I've got to see what it looks like in here. Oh yeah. See what we get. What do you think? Why don't I have any good beef stew going on? Hey kids, thank you for watching. If you learned something, if you enjoyed it, or you lived through it, hey, things could be worse, right? Right down here is the like button, right next to it is subscribe. Yeah, I know, Bob. Subscribing is important to us. Bob and I don't really have any friends in the real world. We appreciate you being part of our lives. Thank you so much. Peace. Peace.